I don't tell anybody. Yep. This bunny must be pretty tiny if the games are revolved around him. Yo. Ice? What the fuck? This game has ice? This must be in Russia. Pripyat, Kalashnikov. The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song, weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twinned in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot of its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green trinkets gazed back in its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fizzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. Just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. I was only 12. Still. Oh, there's a fox! The owl will arrive.
Убери книгу немедленно. Сколько раз говорила, не читай за столом, вредно. Сидишь, сутулился весь.
They're how slouched you are. Hi though. Put this book back about Conan the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times already. Olya had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic, she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials.
Пока не съешь, из-за стола не встанешь.
You're not going anywhere till you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in a plate with my eyes, if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. Is there face in the window? No. There's a paw. It looks like a paw. The longer I waited, the colder and lumpy was. The white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from Costeo Odyssey. I love that show. I wonder how terrifying the bottom of the ocean is. I should probably do voices for these. Or how cold the black forest is at night. A spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes.
Что я говорила?
What did I just say?
Я достану.
I'll get it. Zelensky. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this carved on either side of the table? Karina. Karina. Ha! That's my mom's name. I guess she guarded out with something pointed when she was little. She sure was a rascal damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar though. Should I remind her about it? No. She's been in a bit of bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age, sitting at the table. I wonder, wasn't Mom afraid of the dark behind back then? Or the sound coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed where Olya sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her small, smooth voice.
Тайга особое место, дитятка.
Taiga is a special place, little girl.
Она к тебе присматривается. Словно хочет понять, что ты за зверь
Trying to
такой.
decide what kind of beast you
Понравишься,
are.
в беде не бросит.
If you are a good sort, I won't abandon you in time
А
for
будешь
trouble.
проказничать, схватит за бочок
But if...
и утащит с собой под землю.
Oh my
Тут
god.
и дело с концом.
She's blind in one eye and that would be it. Graham was scaring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those are the times without the maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening to one of the conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. The Minions, SpongeBob funeral casket. It waited for this time in the closet patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat, colored metal on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive, only after the photos were gone. Glass covered pictures with grey faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but thankful look on their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Olia was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze towards the frosted window. That's definitely a paw. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but it didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass.
Оля, гляди, лиса!
Olia, лиса!
Где?
Где? It looked almost like those optical illusion thingies they put on the back of student notebooks. What, really? A mixture of the lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little and look under a certain angle.
Да не на улице, на стекле.
Not outside, on the window.
Смотри, вот нос, вот.
Look, here's the nose, and here's...
Ну-ка, доедай.
Eat up.
Да, да, сейчас.
Да, сейчас.
Я ничего не вижу.
I fucking love our Russian songs. I didn't see anything.
Живо. Совсем немного осталось.
Hurry up, there's not much left.
А, вот. Но все равно не похоже.
No, what?
А я говорю, похоже.
And I'm telling you it does.
Не-а.
Не-а.
Похоже.
It does.
Прекратите. Ну
Still-
что за дети?
What a bitch. No, I couldn't see the fox either. Disappeared, went away. Only the frosty pattern similar stretched out nettle leaves kept creeping up on the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. Okay, got Chad over here. I wanted to have a beard like him when I grew up. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Lily always covered her eyes when she heard something like, "What's the point of all this?" Okay. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I was caught every sound and fear, hearing the most dreaded and deadliest word to start with a D. Diva. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my sister could be torn apart and taken to two different families.
Да что твоя лиса? Вот у меня на окне сова.
Sava!
Опять ты со своей совой.
Так ты же вчера мне верил.
You said you believed in me yesterday.
Никто ключи от машины не видел?
Has anybody seen my car keys?
Вроде оставлял на подоконнике.
Remember leaving them on the windowsill.
Вроде.
Right.
Вроде оставлял, вроде нет.
Maybe you did, maybe you not.
Вроде взрослый мужчина,
You're a
отец
grown
двоих
man.
детей, а вроде...
A father of two still.
Перестань, пожалуйста, Карина.
Karina, shut the fuck up.
Дай мне спокойно собраться.
Just let me get ready in
В
peace.
корзине твои ключи, возле телефона.
There's a basket near the phone.
Огромное тебе человеческое спасибо.
Well, thank you very much. Russian
Антон,
dubbing
ешь
always-
быстрее, а то как мученик сидишь.
Mario out of yourself and shit. Russian dubbing always sounds kind of weird with the older guys.
А сова?
But this so
Не было там никакой совы.
But there was one.
Глазюки огромные. Во! И светятся.
Your giant glowing eyes! Olia sprouted up from her chair and placed her hand on her little face, emitting a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Wait. Okay.
В прошлом году Бабай в шкафу. Сейчас сова.
Bobby, my grandma.
Но я же видела.
Bye-bye, whatever. Olia sniffs her back, gazing forth from her dad and mom. She couldn't
А
find
ты
any
не
support.
думала подружиться с ней, нет?
Have you thought about the
Вымышленными мышами покормить, например?
Не подначивай ребенка.
Don't bully our
Просто мала
girl.
еще. И спать одна боится.
Just a little. No, she's got a rabbit on her shirt. That's cute. Olia spotted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes is uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with the keys he found. A minute had passed. So My Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on incredibly worn out cassette tape. Zal hit the glue together once. It was so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Jeez, pretentious much. Dad moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Well, I had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under the blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had in the move to our parents. And then Olia saw a giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of these ridiculous fears. Was she twitching? Olia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the house was just full of her nightmares. After all night, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? I'm yawning so much, Jesus. It's not the game's boring. I like it actually. It's 9 already. Why am I still yawning? That night I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what I expect from a new school. There were a couple of days left before beginning a new term. My imagination drew longer, twisting hallways that led to the classroom full of kids. Why is it getting louder? Will all the students behind the desk were simply dark figures cutting out using a template? Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces. A pair of eyes blinked inside the holes. It was some completely different creature looking at me from behind a black silhouette. Their cruel glares, filling the eyes sneer, and made me sure from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp on me with their bloody shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Didn't really matter what. Was that a creek? I didn't want to go with that, not badly. I don't want to see. Fuck you. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me in the head. Tipping me up. Think of a new offensive name for me. Worse than the previous one. Felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of monster. Yeah, it's definitely the bed creaking. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olia begged me to hang them. Drawings was the only thing that made me happy as of late. And Michael Jackson over there. There. Small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me time to time. Sometimes I imagined my mom picking up my phone and saying in a cold voice, "You got the wrong number, oh." Or, Anton is not around. Anton is not around. Anton is not around. I imagined my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside the windows. Maybe My new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. Okay, kinda weird thoughts to have. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbors' drills, mumbled with the TV set from behind the wall, creaked like a baby from the big family next, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I really can't call it new, was completely different. Why would you move here? It was silent and easy going during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet, cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family with the ashen eyes were hanging on the walls in my place of drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning, the attic was occupied by noisy drafts. Fuck! Ignore that. Somewhere at the edge of my perception I could hear a flute. It was mixed with the sound of the wind. Creaky old house, my thoughts too. I stood up to the window, wanted to reassure myself the music was nothing more than a production of my heart. That's beautiful music. They're playing in there. Amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Better not be so scared. Aww. So wholesome. There was a bird person, a fox person, a bear person, a goat person maybe. I don't know what happens in Russia. Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes could barely make out with the dark forest as the backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to my mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around, holding hands and wiping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Fuck. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear, piercing me in the eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted, the bizarre shadow crossed. Fuck. Not covering my eyes. Be a real boy. It glided on squeaky windows, on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by pitch black shadow of the house. Bird cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guests move and scrape around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, took around the house. Now my guests should be at the front door. I jumped into bed and covered myself with blankets as it protected me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. What? Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. No. Then her winkly eyeballs would once again move inside the sockets and she would be able to see her grandchildren. It was chanting the spells she taught me through the whole procedure. And now lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks of howls would
На
be
острове Буяне, в синем океане, стоит домовина, в ней сало и глина, волосы седые, чертям еда, раба Божьего Антона не тронут никогда.
Oh, he talks fast. On the land of Buyan, underneath the blemished sun, it was sea of dark blue, color blue, standing a cabinet made of woods. There lay lard and ash hair, for the spawn from devil's lair, to feast and always leave alone. God's faithful servants named Anton.
Бесы забудут
Ибо
дорогу в дом.
leave this house I must.
Мертвый к мертвому, живой к живому.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked from under the blanket and saw certain Didn't it? Someone scratched at me. Oh, fuck off. In reality, something was scratching at the front door. Heard the corner. The door was shut. I became very cautious recently, so I installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the force intensely if he was.
Мертвое к мертвому.
Ashes to ashes.
Живое к живому.
Dust to dust! I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them and drew the door off my eyes. I was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then... Doorbell twitched slightly. Then it turned halfway once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more. Started clicking violently. My jaw cramped with fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. Oh no. Twin saw me moaning at injury. Now you will see. The door wide open. The darkness filled inside carnivorous mouth. Sha. As if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings as rusty hinges. I was trembling and snarled by the web of darkness and hung the corner of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out again. Shnya! Tony! My abdomen tightened on my chest, rose up, ready to exhale steams. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Joshua, you asleep? My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. Are these skinwalkers? I almost screamed from
Оля,
relief.
я не сплю. Что случилось?
Well, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olia frowned and stuck out her lower lips, a clear sign that she was about to cry.
Оно опять прилетело и пялится на меня.
It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away, Tosha. Please.
Прогони, пожалуйста. Я так боюсь.
That's a grown woman. I'm so scared. God damn, she's hot. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away somewhere in my stomach. I need to calm Olia down.
Это был сон, глупая. Не пугайся.
Here's the end of my career.
Никто тебя не обидит.
It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Olia sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure
У меня
myself?
есть идея.
You have an idea.
Пойдем к тебе в комнату, видик посмотрим. Спящую красавицу, например.
Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. Damn, she's spoiled. She got a VHS player, a TV, Disney films. No wonder she has white hair.
Тебе же нравится этот мультик?
You like cartoons, don't you?
Почему у спящей красавицы принца у меня эта страшная птица?
That question took me by
Ладно,
surprise.
давай посмотрим Золушку.
Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studying me with its eyes while glancing furiously into the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window and I couldn't be fooled by Graham's old chance. I couldn't be satisfied with the feast of lard and long-assed hair.
Маша, ты идешь?
Да, сейчас.
Yes, just a moment. My heart. My heart. Oh. That's why I don't want to laugh at Olia and Haral in the morning. Oh, my heart. Wait, I need to recover from this. Oh, fuck. Let me let my cat inside, wait. From the balcony. I also live on the second floor, so... This is... Oh my... Shit. Ow. Ow. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just for a silly thought that our morning guests could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door, my mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olya always hides. Tosha, come here. Why they call him Tosha? I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them towards the hallway. Picture of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits! At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте! Hello! Сдавай, калашку! The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded.
Тут мальчик вчера потерялся. Вовой зовут.
A boy's gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova.
Глянь, пожалуйста. Ты его не видел?
Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. There's a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet in the backdrop. As the backdrop, he had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile.
Нет.
Нет, I haven't.
Точно? Посмотри
Are you
внимательно.
sure? Look closely.
Где мне его видеть? Я тут никого не знаю, да и из дома-то почти не
I
выхожу.
barely leave the house. That cat looks like a skinwalker. That's
А может,
not a normal
видел
cat.
в окно?
From the window?
Да. У тебя ведь окна на лес.
Yeah, it's right. Your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window.
Нет, не видел.
No, I haven't seen it.
Ясно.
I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which a giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway to stare at the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some
Вы,
reason.
кстати, как на новом месте? Попривыкли уже?
Wait, getting used to it. What is this super cross? That's the... What? Cyberpunk cross, bro.
Понемногу. Только вот дочка маленькая
Bit
по
by bit.
городу скучает.
It's just my little daughter doesn't miss the city a lot.
Скучает, значит.
Is the
Из
city...
местных вас никто не беспокоит?
Have locals been treating you well?
Все хорошо, спасибо.
Yes, everything is alright. Thank you. The policeman pierced me one more time with his brown eyes as it started spinning. He looks like Nick Cage, kinda.
Может, вам помочь как-то?
Can I help you somehow? I asked in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy at the end of a pleasant conversation
Я
sooner.
вот стою и думаю,
Hard to think about
ты,
it.
малец, на племеша моего похож.
One of my nephew's little fella.
Шустрый парнишка твоих лет. С такими же окулярами. Все книжками зачитывался. Детективами.
He's a Whitney boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles, always engrossed in reading those mystery novels.
Когда летом погостить приезжал. Говорит, что в школу милиции мечтает поступить.
Told me he wanted to enroll in police school when my family visited this
Как
summer.
я. Хотел людям помогать. Смекаешь?
Just like me, you see. I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative, and not a police officer stood before me.
Ох, ребятушки.
You know what?
Сидите-ка вы лучше дома. Не ввязывайтесь ни во что. Жизнь сейчас совсем другая пошла.
It's a nice police officer. He's got the Star of David on his shoulder, but... Little boys like you should stay at home, steered away from trouble. The time has changed so much. Mom interjected with a cold voice.
Мне ли не знать?
Ну
You
да
don't say.
ладно.
Ah, well then.
Ты, Антон, в каком классе учишься?
What grade are you in, Anton?
В 6-м.
6th. He's like
Друзей-то
12.
на новом месте еще не завел?
Have you... Oh, he's 10, right? No, he's 12, I think. Why is there a toy on the staircase? Have you made any friends so far?
Пока нет. Я только после каникул в школу пойду.
Look at it. I will be going to school for the first time after the break.
Тогда вот вам на всякий случай мой номер.
Then
Звоните, если
I'll leave you my
узнаете, что.
number just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone along with the shadows, the smell of cheap cologne and the photo of a smiling boy. Cologne. His face still stood before my eyes. I wonder what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason I felt the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? If I put my hair in front of my mic, does that improve audio quality? What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I had gone missing? Those dinosaurs? Oh, that's badass. Fuck yeah. Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other, like they always do, and forget about me eventually?
Мам, а Вова этот в нашем лесу заблудился?
Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest?
Выходит, что так. Бедный ребенок.
Seems like it, poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The UAZ. Bobby, a Slavic folklore, a nocturnal spirit used to parents threaten and ill-behaved children. UAZ, a Soviet and Russian off-road foreign passenger car brand which was produced in the Uyanovsky car factory. UAZ drove towards the village. The officer's nephew came to my mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windowsill. Why is there paint on the windowsill? I remember all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. Black Kitty, a series of contemporary Russian original or translated teen mystery books. Your average boys and girls investigate all sort of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, BAM! Solved any complicated case. They become local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. And there was a trail of policemen footprints that led to the forest. And then I clicked in my head. Why don't I start investigating on my own? Maybe I'll find a lost boy, and I'll get a reward. Olya will be so happy. Not only Olya, mom and dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about the quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Olya a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. And a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents brought us any toys? Do Russians have Kinder Surprise? What era is this? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. I had little to no idea what was the accounting job like. They got money, I think. A song by an all-female Soviet pop band named of Kombinatsiya that became widely popular in the early 90s. I had little to no idea what was the accounting job. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays mom and dad barely had money to afford sweets, and dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Olya. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out, looking for clues.
Пойду погуляю.
I'm going outside.
Ага, сейчас.
Сейчас.
Чтобы потом милиционеры с твоей фотографией по домам ходили.
Want the police to go around for the photograph next?
Лес вон какой густой.
The forest is so thick.
А если мальчика звери дикие утащили?
Ой,
Или
да-
того хуже?
What if the boys got snatched by a wild animal or something even worse? Even worse, I go through the
Да
hallway.
я рядом буду. В лес не пойду.
And what go far? And stay away from the forest.
Что я тебе сказала? Мне дважды
Should I
повторять.
say it? Or should I repeat myself?
Лучше портфель собери или соли поиграй.
Better go pack your school bag or play with Olya. Sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. I meant that the argument was over and mom had the last word. What's over here? Dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice. What would she know? But how would she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on a freshly sharpened axe. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned the dim lamp. She would see there was nothing but cobwebs, bad stools and scared walls. She still didn't believe me. And I liked to hide in the closet and listen to Olya count outside. 1, 2, 3, better hide from me. And then they dragged her feet on the screeching floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. This cross had seen so many people come and go in this house. It was black as it absorbed all human sin from the long years it was hanging on the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm, but she cut herself with the cross. The sharp corners almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in the rightful place. So the kitchen. Grandma kept ice cream for me and Olia there, but now there's only meat bits and soup. Pelmeni, I would hate them already. Pelmeni, a Russian variety of dumplings made by boiling thin, unweaved dough filled with mincemeat. One day what's called the Russian. I'm just gonna wait. Actually, gonna save.
Антон, сейчас 3 дня получишь.
If you make
Не
us,
забудь за порог.
I need to sack Mom somehow, or I'll get scolded my ass with a little belt. Difficult night to Mom, but there's no other way for me to turn away.
Мама, там что-то с телевизором случилось.
Nana, something's wrong with the
Картинка
TV.
какая-то тусклая, и экран весь
Up to over the
полос.
screen. Mom says can visually
Без
distorted.
ножа меня режешь.
Gloomy.
Дострелялся в уток своих.
So have you had enough of shooting these stupid ducks now? What time zone is this? They have Kinder Surprise and Duck Hunt.
Говорила же, посадите мне кинескоп своей приставкой.
The kinescope will go deep because of your console.
Где мы теперь мастера найдем в дыре этой, а?
Antunter or Tunterstein. I can't believe I didn't make a Zyra joke. Where will we find a TV technician this hole? Huh?
Может быть, просто настройки сбились?
Settings.
Сходи, посмотри,
Please go see for
пожалуйста.
yourself.
Нормально же работал с утра.
Strange, it worked fine in the morning.
Из-за снегопада, наверное, неполадки.
Maybe the snowfall caused it. Mom rubbed her hands and cleaned on her apron and went to Olia's room. What's this? Senior Lieutenant Kikhnov Konstantin Vladimirovich. Okay, I got a phone number. There's no time for this. Mom will come back soon. This game has multiple enemies that can happen. I opened the front gate and went into the field, carefully so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed in front of the distance toward the forest, the snow pile became the size of my knees. I remember my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music played in my head on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there, distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling in the snow alongside me. And a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent, so silent it felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Olia. This guy thinks about his sister a lot. The time reached its limit. A one-way trip that ended at a forest piney stockade. Piney, Jesus. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing. But me and Olia turned to stone listening to them. But they always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb a couple of days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing or spending time together. Almost like all of it was in a previous life. When they kissed with Olia present. She always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if the fire broke out, and our parents were hurling packages. Hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves on us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes, who sometimes visited us in our previous home? The eye that was that only saw balls of worms in the background and everything, and somewhere far away the sirens were going off, trying to warn us of their coming menace. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. CCPT. There were only me, with this white field in the window that was whipping up icy dust and belting up powdered snow. I squirted from the sun. Not squirted, squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze into the ice. Can I just not read or something? Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird amongst the hungering semi-dark. Is semi-dark a word? Should I take it to the police? Their senior officer looked gloomy, but it still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. The Streets of Broken Lights, a Russian mystery TV series telling a story of the daily life of a Russian police officer. The longest running series in the history of Russian TV at the moment. He was also always anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Would a smitten help them find the lost boy? Vova! I heard a distant shout, looking like it came from the river. Vova! As if the trees were calling out to someone. Vova! It sounded close to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Vova! Is anything scary around hidden here? No. I knew someone was looking at the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about the figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally towards the ground, its blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all my imagination. The new birds flap its wing loudly. Oh, whoa! Fuck off. A shadow split from the trees and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, and then I turned my gaze back to the same place and it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. My muscles were tightly sprung, my heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any split movement, small whisper on the thickness of sprain. But nothing worse would happen. Because why does the music get so loud? Loud noises! It looked at the mitten once more. Let's take it. If something scary happens. Fuck you! Fuck off, where'd he go? Vova. Shot running across the fields and saw into the distance, no echo, no hope for the... Fuck you, I stepped towards the pursuing she started to claim my find. I didn't budge. I pulled harder, the branch cracked in the middle store off, landing in my hand, a squishy sound. Too heavy, wet. I screwed at the thing, something dark spilled from it. There's a tiny string between the mint and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. It's water. A frozen place, studying my palms in disgust, red. Saw a creaking branch in the silence. Fuck you, no, no, no! I didn't think of twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, bringing pipe branches closer to the street. Snow slowing me down. I thought crazy through my mind. I'll get caught, they'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thickness, I'll be gone forever. There's one more voice, probably one for a reason. I was trying to spur me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so long. Here's the one. I can't even read correctly. It was like the sound that had come from the dark pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Then also stuck in freeze. They said free. Giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew. The water sank across the snow. From the dried up raspberry bush, those spines under the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snow gleam became vicious like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap, just got a new one, even deeper than before. I continued down, sinking deeper and deeper, and every desperate push was snowing sticky. I came into horror and realized it wasn't snow. Someone or something. The snow pile was clutching my pants. What? My pants? No! It's pulling a skunk out! I gathered on my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boots slipped out of the hole and stole over hard surface again. I reached the clear path in one jump, and from here ran to my house. The other side of me grinning now. Old my line of defense from the shadow that flipped from the wind screecher that were hiding under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. Let me turn the volume down, jeez. The heartbeat in my eyes was much louder in the surroundings. I could hear when someone was following me or not. What if they were already on the front yard and my mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it immediately gave away. Okay. I rolled in the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as the pursuers ascended the stairs. My fingers slipped on the lock and I couldn't click it in place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob. Whipping it between the boards, I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier, though probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing, breathed, wretched in the house across the waves. Smelled the pine and sweat. My mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me for the same frigid noise she always used when talking to Dad. But you never slammed the door.
Я
I
случайно.
didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone, and the breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, we were 5 meters away from my mom. My fear was slowly awakening, melting like snow in spring, and in the last bit of strength, it had left my body too. Why is she in a t-shirt? My legs gave away. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before as all the quarrels. She finally saw my condition. My wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been?
Чтобы ты дома
What
сидел.
did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home.
Я и для тебя pustое
Am
место.
I nothing to you too? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little. I wanted her to cuddle me. But my mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shine like steel. Her voice rang
У
out.
отца сигареты пропали.
Your dad can find his cigarettes.
Признавайся, ты их
Be
слышал?
honest, did you snatch
Курить
them?
бегаешь.
Were you smoking a secret?
Там
There was someone
за мной
chasing me, I
кто-то
thought. I stuttered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears swelled up in my eyes. And snitched my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant. She was covering her mouth with her hands.
Гляди, вон же они. Прямо у забора.
Covered out the fence. My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear I've heard something scratch the door just like in a nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her finger as I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window facing my fears. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in the snow. Why see you in pattern? Oh, there's actually of blood on their face. It's a person though, it's just a doggo, heckin' wholesome doggo. dogs! Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest.
Божечки.
Oh
Ты
boy,
их испугался?
were you scared of them?
Да они сами тебя
I think they'd
перепугаются,
rather
Антон.
be scared of you,
Они
Anton.
гнались за мной,
What's that
словно
smile?
за зайцем.
You're chasing me like a bunny.
А вдруг они бешеные?
What if they are rabid? Slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs like they were the first time
Что
seeing
если
them.
они нападут на Олю?
What if they attacked Olia?
Мам,
Вот
Mom.
бы твой отец их всех
Who
перестрелял.
wish your dad could just shoot them all. What the fuck?
мама, они живые.
Mama, look, they're alive.
А что?
What?
Ты уж определись? Они тебе друзья или
Are they
кто?
your friends or foe after all? Make up
Не
your
маленький
mind.
ведь уже.
You're not a little kid anymore. He's like 12, so I don't know. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so better that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner just to keep myself from crying. What a detective I am. In reality, I was risking my life amongst monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. They could have torn you apart. Aren't stray dogs like the most dangerous type of dog? And what for? What use do I have for this mitten? Of course. I popped a pimple. A darkened, streaky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I heard the present clue to my mom.
Мам, смотри, это Вовина варишь. Ну того, про которого утром мили... Она вся в
Женщина
крови.
была, да.
На дереве висела.
Так, а
Давай
что?
в мили... Мам, гляди. Фу.
Shadow of doubt slowly crept into my mom's cornered face. She was trying to remember something distant, like someone tried to remember their dreams, but the imaginary images slipped away.
А ну-ка прекрати сейчас же.
Stop at this moment.
Оля тебя услышит, с ума сойдет. Она и так не спит. На все подряд жалуется.
Lines all the
Еще и
time.
ты со своими шуточками.
And he joke around like this. The moment I realized the mitt was actually wet from snow. There's no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment.
Иди сюда, паникер. Да не
My
стой
boy who
столбом.
cried wolf.
Вот, таблетку на. Быстро пей.
Don't stand. Come take your pills. What? A golden colored pill reminiscent of a dead wasp fell into my
Я уже
palm
пил сегодня. За завтраком.
when during breakfast.
Попререкайся мне еще.
Well, she's just like me for real.
Сказала дома сидеть.
I
Нет же.
told you to stay home and
Был бы
you...
отец выпорол.
Dad would have given you a good whipping for that.
Сейчас же выпей, а то ночью не уснешь.
Come on, take
Тебе
it,
в
or
школу
you won't
завтра.
be able to sleep at night, and you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similar awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Vova's mitten. Maybe it wasn't the mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters and Olia's all. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect, or no understanding brain didn't feel fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawny indifference along with it.
Антон, выпил? Можешь, если захочешь.
Anton, you done? So you can do it if you try.
Раздевайся.
Think of your
Уснул, что
coat, are
ли?
you asleep?
Нет, мам. Просто задумался.
Нет, мам. I was just thinking.
Интересно, о чем же?
About what, I wonder?
Так, глупости.
It's
всякие.
just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with a suspicious eyes, as if she wasn't sure. She was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the
Точно
forest.
все нормально?
Is everything alright?
У тебя такое лицо
You had the
было,
exact
когда
same
милиционер
expression when
про
the
окно
policeman asked you
спросил.
about the
Все
window.
нормально.
I'm alright, mom. Sim normal. Well, here's the female, or some normal. I guess that's male. So she heaved a deep sigh.
Хорошо.
Fine. Seemed like the house had changed. The soap fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard on the upper floor. Olia was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episode and watching other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before to sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. And I went up, so damn, he's dripped out. Jafar's unlocked. Yeah! I walked past Olia's bedroom and slipped into my own. What's this? Monster Ghost UFOs, the Encyclopedia of Paranormal Phenomenon from Rossmann Publishing. I've learned about the Loch Ness Monster, Medusa, Gorgon, and Bigfoot from there. Olia was always scared of that book. She could barely handle shifting through the monsters and aliens section with me, but the middle part where they start to talk about ghosts really freaked her out. I remember hunting ghosts after I'd read that book. I measured the distance between items on my table every evening to check if they moved due to some supernatural force in the morning. They didn't. But to be honest, was I expecting to meet Casper the Ghost? Was there Ninja Turtles? I'm an artist since Dad bought me my first comic book. Fly magazine was the coolest, especially like a big space related edition with alien monsters and that funny episode of the German. Fly, the first Soviet and Russian periodic adult comic magazine, extremely popular during the crazy 90s. What made the magazine stand out was the refusal to use the material from its foreign counterparts. My dad survived. Fuck, I thought it was in the game. I started drawing all kinds of stuff since that day. I've just gotten pretty good at it since. One of my letters even got published in Fly once. Maybe someday they'll be published in my comics. Let's just open this. Fucking bad audio, wait. Fine, screw it. One of the drawers was empty. I hit the policeman's phone number along with the mitten here there. The simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. I sat on the bed. Who knows, there's something behind the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. It was due to medication I took or the stress I underwent. The room began to contort, as if the wind was blowing the walls out like parasails. The corners of the room bent on. The only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck in to my hidden visitor. They reminded me of burial sheets. Olia? Olia! Who else would be standing there? I stood up and licked my dry lips.
Оля, очень смешно.
Olia, it's so funny, you should come here. The silk was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached for the curtains. Badoom, badoom. That's the weirdest onomatopoeia for something. Beat to my heart, controlled by medication. The wings sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to my bed, just lie down and watch these birds behind the curtains, knowing full well they were looking back at me. They were looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled open the curtains. Oh, fuck you, it's...
Попался!
Thank God it's my sister. Why are her eyes rotated? Her eyelids, look at that. I think it should be like that. Her eyes are really big. Polska. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Да я сразу понял, что это ты.
I knew it was you from the beginning. Unbindingly brought halo lit of the Olia's head and was setting sun on the background. My sister was shining. Stop talking about your sister like that. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day, and sunlight poured on her smiling face. Felt like I was holding a light, woven child.
А я все видела.
Да ну,
Что ты спрятал?
What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice.
ничего, просто...
It's nothing, just... Olia ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked,
Ты что-то украл и теперь
You
прячешь?
stole something and hid it there?
Ты вор?
Are you a thief?
Что? Глупая.
Глупо. Fucking глупо проситься. What? Don't be stupid.
Ничего я не
I
крал.
didn't steal anything. A clear image came to my mind that mittens sang from the tree branch. What if I did steal it after all? From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind the black trees. Olia could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted.
Покажи тогда.
Yeah, show me.
Клянись, что никому не скажешь.
Swear that you won't
Тогда
tell
покажи.
anyone? Then I'll show you. Olia wore a plotting smile. It's a weird smile.
Клянусь маминым сердцем.
I swear on my mom's heart. Those she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we've watched. What's all about this movie talk? Pioneer movement, an umbrella term for communist children organizations around the world, somewhere reminiscent of the Scots movement.
Не говори так.
Don't say something like that. Olia nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth in a measure key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. Opened the drawer and Olia leaned, holding her breath. To a mitten, some sort of exotic critter.
Это
Is some mitten?
чья-то...
She said that as if she couldn't understand what she saw.
Один мальчик потерял. И сам потерялся.
A certain boy got lost it and got lost
Теперь
myself.
понимаешь, как опасно гулять
Now,
в лесу?
now you do
особенно
understand how
детям.
dangerous it is for kids to wander into the forest, right?
Ему, наверное,
It must really be
там
cold
очень
out there.
холодно. Его найдут?
Will they find him?
Обязательно.
They will.
Участковый
will.
по домам ходит, всем фотографии его показывает.
The police are going house to house showing the photos to everybody. Ola traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window.
А почему он по домам ходит, а
And
не
why are
по
they
лесу?
going to the house and not the forest?
Боится?
Are they scared? The question caught me off guard.
Милиционеры ничего
The
не
police
боятся.
aren't scared of anything.
И лес они прочесали.
You will dispute the forest. Yeah, right. Flash and Cloud mind. They really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell. And that's the case. How did they miss the mitten? Where did it appear later for me? I changed the topic, as if I was trying to get Olia as far away as possible from the forest thicket.
Если я сам найду пропавшего мальчика, нам, может, награду дадут.
We may get a reward if I go find this boy
Кучу
myself.
всякого, как в поле
All stuff
чудес.
like in the Wheel of Fortune.
Клёво же.
Sounds cool, right? Dude, watch this. Olia wasn't listening to me. She was pierced in the forest with incredibly adult eyes, so encouraged to confer.
А что, если эта сова его утащила?
What if the owl got him?
Ерунда.
Ерунда.
Не может сова поднять человека.
An owl won't be able to lift a human.
Вот что.
Fool. But you know what? I was speaking my words with utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain.
Ты в лес не суйся. Мне кажется, он какой-то,
Stay away from the forest. That you think
как бы
it's...
сказать,
How should I
что
put
ли.
this? It's cursed or something.
Как в сказке?
Just like in a fairy tale?
Нет, скорее, как
Нет.
на той страшной кассете, что родители прячут.
More like that spooky tape our parents hide from us. What the fuck? Sex tape? Olia shriveled and stole a glance at the
Я
window.
видела, как ты убегал.
They saw you running
За
away.
тобой кто-то
Someone was
гнался?
chasing you?
Нет, просто,
No, it's just
чтобы
I
мама
was
не
hurrying back
волновалась,
home
спешил
so mom
домой.
wouldn't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. White liberal SJW snowflake. It was so easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind, and her small fire would be gone.
Хорошо тебе.
You're
Меня
lucky.
вот мама не пускает
Mom
даже на
won't even let
крыльцо.
me go
Как
outside.
принцесса в башне сижу.
Like a
Никуда
princess
не могу
in the
выйти.
tower, can't go anywhere.
Умру тут от скуки.
I'll die for boredom here. She's wearing a badass hoodie. I
Не
want that.
придумывай.
You're wrong.
От скуки еще никто
No
не
one has ever
умирал.
died of
У
boredom.
тебя же есть я и
And you have
мультики,
me
а
and your
мама с папой
cartoons,
скоро
and mom and dad
помирятся.
will be good at teaching each other.
Знаешь, что бы я загадала
You
на
know what?
следующий день рождения?
What if I wish for Michael's
Чтобы
birthday?
родители
I
тоже
wish for
в
mom
детей
and dad to turn to
превратились.
children so we could
И мы
go
бы
play
все
together like
вместе
we used to.
Ага. А если бы они стали размером с жука, то мы бы их в
Yeah,
спичечный
yep.
коробок посадили.
And if you'd make them as small as bugs, we could place them into little box. Talking about my sleeve.
Тоша, пойдем Аладдина
Toshi, let's
смотреть.
go watch Aladdin. This looks like a meme. You're invited to watch Aladdin by Olia. Do you accept? Fatigue won over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy.
Вымотался я.
А,
Что-то не
Нет,
хочется.
теперь, I don't want you.
Ну пойдем.
Come on.
Мне скучно одной.
It's so
а мама
boring alone.
занята
My
всё
mom is
время.
always
Можно выбрать
busy.
другой мультик,
You
который
can
ты
pick a
еще
cartoon
не
you
видел.
haven't
Да
seen
я
before.
все наши кассеты
It's my heart at this
наизусть
point.
знаю.
А вот и не все.
Not all of them.
Ты
You haven't
Питера
watched
Пэна не
Peter
видел.
Pan.
Помнишь, ты уснул на
Remember how
середине?
you fell asleep in the middle of
А
it?
там потом такое.
And so much
Ну,
happens after that.
Пойдем.
Let's go, let's go.
Давай попозже.
Maybe a bit later.
Рассказать тебе, чем все закончилось?
How should I tell you how it is?
Утром
Let's
расскажешь.
leave that for tomorrow.
Утром не захочу.
I will tell you tomorrow.
Придумала.
I
А
know.
давай в прятки.
Let's play hide and seek.
Нет, Оль.
Нет, Оля.
Тогда
Then draw me a
нарисуй
dino.
мне динозавра.
A dino.
Оля, блин.
Hey, Nico, wanna go? Let's go bowling. Оля, please.
Нарисуй.
Draw it.
Да оставь ты меня в покое!
Leave me alone already! I blurted out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken aback. I never screamed at a little sister like that. Olia stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What happened to me? What have I become? My sweetest friend. I hurried to prevent Olia from crying.
Ладно, уболтала. Давай смотреть мультики.
Let's watch the cartoons a bit.
Уже
I don't
не
wanna.
хочу.
You see? Precious little fragile SJW liberal LGBT snowflake. I came up to her, put my hands on her soft head.
Пойдем.
Let's go.
Питера Пэна
Let's go
посмотрим.
watch Peter Pan.
Ага, ты опять
You
уснешь.
fell asleep again. I smiled at her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless.
Не усну, обещаю.
I promise I
А
won't.
потом я тебе целого трицератопса нарисую.
И del triple triceratops. Hurrah! It sounds Japanese. Triceratops!
Ну, почти.
We are close enough. Olia rubbed her eyes with the sleeve of her pajamas and was shining a smile returned to her face.
Давай ты пока кассету перемотаешь, а я у мамы попрошу сгущенки с хлебом.
I'll go ask mom for condensed milk and bread, and you rewind the tape. Fuck condensed milk, really?
Только утром свежий привезли, как ты любишь.
how we like
Неси,
How do you know?
только аккуратнее, а то разольешь.
Alright, just be careful not to spill the
Опять
milk,
ругаться будут.
or you'll be yelled at again.
Спорим, не разолью.
On the bed, I won't
Кассета
spill.
где-то в
The
тумбочке.
tape is somewhere in the
Поищи пока.
nightstand looking for it. Is there. Where's the jump scare? Olia disappeared in the doorway, and I dragged my feet in the neighbor's room. Yo. He's got the money. A piggy bank. Only saving money for a real puppy because dad said I'd take care of him will take a lot of money. Aww. Ola keeps his curtains open during the day, but as soon as twilight comes, she shuts them tight so she wouldn't see the pair of hungry eyes outside. Old Foranti was getting dust in the corner. All that was left was clicking the button on the front. The tube warmed up. A familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. I need to turn this on. I was reached out to turn the VCR. Then the noise calmed down and blurry images appeared for a moment. It was a dark tiger forest just like the one outside my window. The pictures screen and a half. Gee, it's gonna be jump scare again. God damn it. Just a few months later, senior they catch something real signs. The local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch a channel again? On the other hand, Olia had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do it at all. Search? Ooh. Oh, that's adorable. I sifted through the shelves full of dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. I found the tape I needed thanks to its shabby spine. Brought a black rectangle from its box. Tape inside it rustled by rewinding to the beginning while Rustin was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I started running to the TV. I matched images whirled in my head. Me and Olya flying before the forest trembling with soft clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile became more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed the clouds underneath us part, bearing to bristly pine tops. Swampy darkness slurped among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us in hold.
Смотришь без меня?
You stuffy dummy, have you? Oh, that's a nice shot. My sister bought a tray with unwavering cut bread, a whole can of condensed milk. I rubbed my eyes. No, come sit.
Мама с папой опять ругаются.
My mom and dad are
У них
arguing
сейчас
again.
период такой.
Yeah, go to rough
Глупый
times.
какой-то
Rough
период.
times, Orly. On the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow into the dresser. Ollie was entertained by the cartoonish dog Nana.
Может, и нам родители
Мама,
собачку
дед,
купят?
What the fuck is that imagery? Was that dog's mouth? Oh, it's the crocodile. Maybe mom and dad would buy a dog too.
Ага.
Yeah, right.
В Небыляндии у меня будет своя
I'll have my own
собственная
dog
собака.
in the Neverland. A cat and a
И
parrot.
попугай.
Ollie smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me.
А у тебя все молочные зубы
You
выпали?
feel...
Конечно.
Obviously. Ollie frowned deep in thought.
Питера Пэна зубы молочные.
Pietro Pan is baby
Вдруг
teeth.
со взрослыми зубами тебя не пустят в его страну.
What if they won't let you go to his land with adult
Мы
teeth?
что-нибудь обязательно
We'll think of
придумаем.
something.
Попросим папу исправить
We'll
тебе
ask-
возраст в паспорте.
Ask that to alter your age in the passport.
С чего это папа будет
Why
документы
dad
подделывать?
forged documents? Ollie took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full.
Будет. Мама говорила, что он так делал. А я подслушала.
Hey, babe. He healed mom. Yeah, they did before.
Смотри, уши вырастут,
You
как
grow
у
ears as
Дамбо.
big as Dumbos. They'll grow ears as big as Dumbos. Dumbo can rhyme with something, I think. Dumbos, bumbos. Ollie got worried and touched her ears. I smiled to myself. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured bread and watched the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. As if she got stuck in the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagine myself there in a land where one never ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and sounds of broken plates. It felt like a dream. My eyes opened, and my sister's scream pulled me back to reality.
Слушай, скорее, шторы задерни.
Зачем?
Why?
Никто же на тебя
Who's
не
watching me?
Уже темно.
My best not to look outside towards the treetops, towards the tidal forest, which soon drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from shadows and branches scraping the window.
Тоже. Мама думает, что я напред, и папа считает, что раз я маленькая, а сова есть.
But yeah, like this. Why is her huge ass pillow pointed against towards the what? Why is her bed aimed towards so when she's sleeping she's watching the window? But yeah, like this. Honestly, it does. You believe me, right? It goes. I swiftly grabbed Olia's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But I really have those qualities.
Тебе верю, слышишь?
Yes, I believe you, alright?
Только родителям
Just
больше
don't
не
nag our
рассказывай,
parents about it
потому что
anymore.
так
They're already
хлопот
dealing with a lot, so they'll just get
Ты
mad
мне
at you.
говори, если что случится.
Come and tell me if anything
В окно
happens.
не смотри.
And don't look at the window. But I wants me to
Не
look.
хочет.
Doesn't matter.
Притворись, что её нет и не
Act
было
like it doesn't
никогда.
exist and never
Только
existed.
выдумка, как родители
Like
говорят.
it's made up. And just like mom and dad says,
Ей ждать надоест,
you'll get tired of waiting and fly away. If it jump scares it. God damn it. We followed Peter Pan's adventures. Nothing happened. Forced them to kidnap kids as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from Crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London as a gilded sailboat. By a miracle, it lasted longer than my little sister. All your eyelids dropped and started snorting. She started snorting like. Oh, I thought the eyes were snorting lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. I stood up and left Olia's room. I was looking out the window, studying the fields when my mom peeked into my room.
Довольно было
Enough
завтра
playing around.
первый день в школе.
It's your first day at school tomorrow.
Ложись, тебе
Go
надо
to bed,
выспаться.
you should sleep
Не
properly.
хочешь же ты, чтобы тебя все дразнили Соней?
You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? I also think everything's so simple. Sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a blanket on my neck and listened to the house humming with something invisible rustling in the corner. Made a voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear the mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just a part of growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barriers that were in my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as it called for me. The wind howled on and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head and became weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. It has come after all, the day I feared the most, the first day of a new school term. Okay, guys. That is the end of the video. Make sure to not like and not subscribe. I mean, like, comment, but don't subscribe. I don't care about subscribers, okay? Yep. I'm a new kind of YouTuber. Bye.